So we've all been there. We all have this idea of the type of student that we want to be, but we have no idea on how we will get there. Especially if you're coming straight from high school, the transition into college can be extremely challenging. At least I know it was for me, but that doesn't mean that it is impossible. So in this video, I will tell you the key on how to become the successful student you want to become. Hey, what's up everyone? How are y'all doing today? My name is RCasttt and welcome to RCasttt Mentoring, the place where I give you all the advice you need for your student success, personal growth, and leadership development, all based on my experience as a student and a college mentor. And with that being said, let's go straight into the video. Okay, here's the key. You need to understand the correlation between being responsible and being free. Okay, now you may be sitting there and wonder what is going on, what is this guy talking about, or you maybe understood everything that I said and all power to you, go ahead and conquer the world. But if you're anything like me, then you're going to need to dissect this a little further. So let's take a step back and think back into high school. In high school, we had a very specific schedule and way of doing things that made us feel constrained. We were told what to do, when to do it, and how to do it. From 7 to 7:30, we snoozed the alarms 20 times trying to get out of bed. From 8 to 9, we were trying our best to stay awake during our first period class. From 12 to 1, we ate lunch, A lunch, B lunch. Man, I'm having major flashbacks. Do you guys remember A lunch and B lunch? Anyways, from 3 to 4, we had physical education, PE, or band, or whatever elective you had. I don't know, I mean, do you remember those like 1 hour mile runs or something? But yeah, anyways, we had some sort of physical education at least. We would go up the steps, so that accounts, right? From 7 to 8, we had dinner, and then we had to do our homework at 9 because it was due at 10 p.m. and then we had to go to sleep at a reasonable amount of time because then we had to wake up early the next day, and guess what? We repeated it all over again. And even things that weren't scheduled still had some kind of structure. For example, big projects require you to submit periodic updates from which you will get graded on. Do you remember those things? My point is, homework, meals, practices, and everything that we had to do had very specific instructions and times of how to do it. And that, a lot of times, I don't know about you, but it made me feel constrained. But when we go to college, that constraint, that schedule is suddenly gone. Well, this may sound good at first, it sounds relieving. You'll be surprised when I tell you that a lot of students stand in shock at the amount of new freedom they have, myself included, and this is where the problems start. In contrast to high school, in college, we get to do whatever we want, whenever we want to, and however we want to. So, you may be wondering like, oh, well, you're crazy. How would you not like that kind of freedom? And yes, it is great, but you need to be very careful with it. As you all know, with great freedom comes great responsibility. Yes, I'm a Spider-Man fan, and I'm sorry if I completely butchered that. Anyways, moving on. But for reals, you now can choose at what time you want to have your lectures, or you may even choose to not have lectures by taking an asynchronous online class. Now, of course, right now with the way the whole situation is, you may not have that choice, but you know what I mean, right? Like you get to choose whether you want to meet in class or whether you don't want to meet in class, or you may even choose to skip. Now, I definitely don't encourage you to do that, but that's even an option. You know what I mean? You get to choose what you want to do. You get to choose when you eat, when you sleep, what organizations you want to be on, the way you want to spread out your work. You really get to customize your full experience. But most importantly, you choose how much time and effort you want to place onto all of your responsibilities. But that's a key word, choose. You have to choose. As opposed to high school where you were given instructions for everything, now you make your own instructions. And that can be challenging. For 12 years of our life, we were used to living a specific way, and all of a sudden that is gone and it's complicated. You can easily sit down, binge watch low-key, eat some Doritos, and being a couch potato all day. And if that's what you want to do, that's totally fine. But this is what differentiates successful students. This is the difference between a successful student and a student who's not reaching the goals they want to reach. This is where understanding the correlation between being responsible and being free comes into place. Let me explain. Yes, in college you do have a lot more time options and flexibility, but you also have a lot more responsibility, and this is where a lot of people don't really realize when they first start. While you do not have daily homework you do every day, well, No, of course. While you do not have daily homework, you do have a big project that cannot be crammed down on the last minute. While you do not have built-in electives onto your schedule, you have to nurture your hobbies, because if you solely focus on academics, trust me, you're gonna lose your mind. Trust me, I've been there. You do not want to be there. You want to nourish your hobbies. While you do not have to do 150 community service hours every year, volunteering in college will not only help your community, but it will also give you invaluable experience for your future career. While you do not have to stay to tutoring, doing so will benefit you greatly. While you can stay up all night playing Spider-Man, you need to sleep in order to have a healthy life. If not, you're gonna be tired, you're gonna be falling asleep like during classes, and that's not good for anyone. While you do not have to stay to PE, exercising will greatly benefit your mental and physical health. And trust me, not only is that just a healthy thing to do in general, but that would also help you get through the rough days, because there will be some. And at this point, I think you get my point. While you have the freedom to do nothing, you also have the freedom to do everything. And what sounds more like freedom to you? To give in to our probably unhealthy desires that are not gonna get us anywhere near our goals, or to choose to do the responsible thing and work day by day to become the successful students we want to be. This is why I believe the more responsible you choose to be, the more freedom you actually have. Because when you have the freedom to do nothing and you still choose to do what is best for you, then I think that's where you actually find true freedom. Guys, in college and in life in general, we have the freedom to do whatever we want to do. We have the freedom to be whoever we want to be. So who are you going to be? And what are you going to do about it? Sure, there will be times where we stumble and fall, and that's completely okay. But if you want to become a successful student, I challenge you to think about the correlation between being responsible and being free in every action that you do. And I promise you that if you follow this advice, you will be on your road to becoming the successful student you want to be. So when you have the freedom to skip class and to stop working on your resume and to give up on that internship that you want to get, when you have the freedom to give up on your goals, what are you going to do? Also, please let me know in the comment section down below if this advice has been helpful to you in any way. Maybe you've used it before, maybe you recognize yourself and that you stopped and used it, or maybe a friend has used it, maybe you've recommended it to someone, or maybe it has not been useful at all and everything that I said in this video just did not apply to you at all. That's totally fine. Just please let me know, so that way I know what kind of content I can bring you next, and that way I know if it's been helping you on your road to student success, because that's what this whole channel is for. Anyways, with that being said, thank you for watching and strive for success.